The Pleiadians, heart's guiding light beloved ones, we greet you. Vast forces of light from the Skandala effect are dramatically shifting the magnetic core of Earth. These flows of powerful light are emerging through the magnetic core and radiating outwards, impacting the energetic rotation of the planet and shifting the perception of what you refer to as time. The weather patterns will be reflecting the shifts from the energetic rotation, creating unstable conditions within the very different arena of climate systems being formed across the Earth plane. You are being asked to let go of the old, outworn patterns created by the misperception of your ego mind, to begin a different path of orientation through your heart space. Your true reference point, your guiding light compass arises from your heart. You are going to require your heart's guiding light in the upcoming phase, supporting you to orientate yourself through the drama, the density, that is arising at this juncture on Earth. Much unrest, fear, and struggle will be perpetuated through this upcoming interval. In truth, there is nothing to fear from this rising. Magnified illusion. This is the third-dimensional drama play out that does not need to touch you. Allow your guidance to arise from your heart. Take your steps forward as you consciously choose to allow change, movement, to open into your life. This is your stage to choose what you need for yourself. Do not concern yourself with any other, simply choose differently, for yourself. Allow moments of stillness within your heart and take steps forward within the guidance, the feeling of rightness for yourself. Do not hesitate over the coming days to shift your perception from your ego mind to your heart. We witness you within the perspective of truth, of light. Blessings. The Pleiadians. My Quinsey's higher self, expected events. So much is changing through the world, and inconvenience for the people involved is unavoidable. However, we must confirm that all souls involved were told of what to expect before they incarnated. They would have known their life plan and in general terms what else to expect, so that events taking place would not be totally unexpected. The situation you find yourselves in is unavoidable, as everything must be dealt with according to changes that will be made in preparation for ascension. Most of you will be ready when that occasion arises. The problems that you will face are the result of changes that are necessary to bring you in line with what is expected of you and for you. It is a matter of receiving what is due to you according to how well you have progressed. If you have gradually increased your vibrations, you will most certainly achieve a level that will ensure you ascend to leave the old ways behind and enjoy the comparative freedom of choice. You will find that life is totally different to what you have been used to, and the main feature is that you will have the powers to bring into being whatever you need by your power of thought. At present you await developments that will create the path for your progress in preparation for your future. Even now your thoughts have some power that attracts situations to you, and that is why you have to be careful what you wish for. Can you see now why, having reached a certain level of consciousness, you have the power of thought to manifest whatever you desire? So you immediately become a free person that can travel wherever your thoughts take you. Consequently, friends and family are only a thought away from you, as is anything you require, so you become a very independent soul. With the powers and freedom you will have, it is clearly a great responsibility, and why you must first have reached a level that is compatible with it. Indeed, it would be impossible to enter the higher levels unless you were prepared for such a life. How wonderful to know that life is possible without the negative forces being present. However, if you had reason to visit such levels of lower vibrations, you would simply lower your level through your power of thought. Some souls do so, and provide a service to those who desire to lift themselves up and need help to do so. They find that such low levels are in darkness due to the absence of light. Much of what is passed on to you is already known, often through direct experience of the lower regions. 1. There is a natural urge by those of a higher vibration to help uplift other souls who have become trapped in the lower ones and lack the knowledge of how to get out of their predicament. As soon as a cry for help is received, be assured that it is responded to immediately with a rescue mission. The approach to those souls is that everyone is worth saving, as it is rare that one refuses all help. we find that there is a point where eventually the most obstinate of souls begin to believe that there must be much more to life than it first appears. As soon as that point is reached, you may be assured that every help is given to enable them to grow in conscious awareness. You are assured that no soul is left without help once they start to awaken to the greater truth. You are all on the path to the greater light that ultimately leads you back to the Godhead, from whence you came. 2. At each stage of evolution you are helped to evolve even further, so you are never alone at any stage in your progress. On Earth you are left very much to your own ideas of how to live in the lower dimensions, but eventually you feel the urge to seek your origin and the meaning of your life. As soon as you are able to comprehend what it is all about, we will open your mind to the truth step by step at a pace that suits you. Our methods and approach to enlightening you are well tried and tested, and we will keep you on the right path to make the best use of your time. There is so much information that we can give you that will help your grasp and understanding of the truth. However, all in good time, with the onus on enlarging your ability to take on new ideas that will enhance your ideas of what the future holds for you. Unfortunately, due to the actions of the Darkones, who held back the truth of your real being. In general, you only have an unrealistic understanding of the true history and purpose of mankind. As we have often intimated, you are in truth great beings acting out roles given you to enable some headway to be made in an unrealistic existence. How confusing it must all seem, but be assured very soon the truth shall be made known to you all. In some ways the battles you have had to learn more of the truth have made you much stronger and resolute to find it. In this respect we have tried to open your eyes to what has been going on and how you will find the future that will be much to your liking. Physical life is very much an illusion compared to the existence you will shortly be experiencing. When the vibrations will have increased sufficiently for it to manifest. We mention much of coming events to prepare you for major changes that are coming in the near future. It may be hard to see the light amongst the dark shadows almost engulfing the planet, but it is there and growing. So much so that more souls are becoming enlightened. Believe us when we say that the worst of your troubles are nearly over, but a note of precaution, because the future is also affected by those who presently rule you. They have always operated in the open, yet their intentions have not always been understood or realized as negative. Have faith in us and do not be swayed by outside events, but keep your faith in those who oversee your future, and know that it is in good hands. We remind you that you are safe, and not to be goaded into thinking that matters are getting worse. The potential for it getting worse exists, but never forget that we are by your sides, and where possible keeping you out of harm's way. I leave you with love and blessings, and may the light brighten your days and path to completion. This message comes through my higher self, my God self, and every soul has the same connection to God. In love and light. My Quinsey. Hakann, Comfort Beliefs. My dearest brothers and sisters. This is Hakann speaking. I greet you in peace and love. In our culture, teenagers become adults when they reach a certain level of consciousness and awareness and maturity, and not when they have existed for 18 years. From my perspective, some Earth humans may have adult bodies, but I personally don't think they are very adult. I am not arguing that you should take certain people's rights away, or treat people condescendingly. But I am saying that it's useful to keep in mind that just because someone has the body of an adult, doesn't necessarily mean that they have the consciousness and awareness that you would expect an adult to have. For example, many people assume that anyone who has the body of an adult is a logical person who arrives at their beliefs through facts and reason. In reality, most people on Earth right now believe whatever is most psychologically comfortable. Part of that can be seen as immaturity. Or part of that can be seen as possibly adult people being so squeezed and overburdened that they're looking for psychologically comforting beliefs. Some people look for comfort not because there's anything fundamentally wrong with them, but just because they are getting squeezed right now. Or they might have had a tough childhood, but perhaps they can still heal and become more adult later in life, in our sense of the word. So, it's understandable that a lot of people are adopting what you might think of as comfort beliefs, which are beliefs that aren't exactly illogical or compassionate, but that are comfortable for the person himself or herself to have. What's unfortunate is that right now, both the left and the right have comfort beliefs that make the other side feel less safe. And one side having an out-of-alignment comfort belief actually strengthens the out-of-alignment comfort beliefs on the other side. It's a vicious circle. Both sides have comfort beliefs that drive the other side to ever more tightly embrace their own comfort beliefs. For example, someone on the right may have the out-of-alignment comfort belief: the reason I have a pretty good life is because I am virtuous and worked hard and made smart choices. No one helped me out, I did it all on my own. Anyone who doesn't have a good life is either immoral or lazy or made bad choices, and they deserve what they get. If someone is struggling, they should just stop making bad choices and work hard, and that will fix it. Now, there are some good parts of this belief. Personal responsibility is very important. And sure, making good choices and working hard can absolutely help someone build a better life. Frankly, a more moderate version of this belief would just be a good belief to have. But the somewhat extreme version of the belief that I just shared is overly simplistic and self-serving, and a bit callous. Not everyone who is struggling can solve their problems just by working harder. If someone on the right expresses this belief, it can easily make someone on the left feel bad and unsafe, and for understandable reasons. It's entirely possible that this struggling left-winger didn't have as much financial support from their family, or is struggling with a health issue that the right-winger doesn't have, etc. Even if the right-winger doesn't have something that's easy to point to as a concrete advantage, the right-winger might just have been born with a higher IQ than average, which is actually a huge inborn advantage in itself. Or the right-winger might have been born into a stable and functional and loving family, which is another huge advantage that not everyone enjoys. If you were born with an above-average IQ, into a stable family, then it's easy to think of yourself as having had an average start, but in reality you were luckier than most. Also, older people often don't understand that the younger generations genuinely have it much harder in some ways. Now it's easy to say that the left-winger should just take personal responsibility, and in some cases, that is exactly what the left-winger should do. Personal responsibility is important. However, it's also understandable that if some struggling left-winger sees a successful right-winger express that out-of-alignment comfort belief, that the left-winger will feel psychologically drawn to finding some reason why the right-winger didn't actually work harder. The right-winger was just privileged. Maybe the right-winger has male privilege, or white privilege, or some other kind of privilege. So this occasional right-wing comfort belief of I'm successful purely because I worked hard, if you're struggling then you can't solve that by working harder, is actually nudging the left to embrace their own comfort beliefs. Namely, I can't succeed because I don't have male privilege. Men are so much more privileged than women. I'm a victim. I can't build the life that I want. I'm dependent on the government to get involved and help me. Rich people are always leeches, and always oppressors, and are always evil extractors of value. But in turn, it is also understandable that if the left expresses these comfort beliefs, that people on the right will be further nudged into adopting their comfort belief. Namely, there are plenty of people on the right who didn't have an unfair advantage, they just genuinely worked hard and contributed significantly to the real economy. And if you tell these people that they're just evil privileged rich dudes, then you're actually pushing them into the right-wing comfort belief we expressed earlier, of screw you, if you're struggling then that's your fault, and you can't solve your problems by working harder. This is not a crazy reaction, because indeed, some people genuinely just need to take personal responsibility and work harder. But then again, if you formulate it in such an extreme way, then you're further driving the left into their own comfort beliefs, because clearly some people can't solve their own problems by working harder, and clearly some people actually are more privileged than others. Other than listening to each other, what would also help is if people adopted more reasonable, and more nuanced and more moderate forms of these comfort beliefs. because it genuinely is fine to believe that hard work and personal responsibility is important. It's just good to also be aware that some people were born into a worse situation than you were, and not everyone can solve their problems through working harder. Similarly for the left, yes, some people genuinely were born into more privilege than you were. But that doesn't mean that you're a helpless victim who can't improve your own life. It also doesn't mean that every white person or every man is automatically more privileged than you. Some white people and some men were born into even tougher situations than you were. And not every rich person is automatically evil, or a leech, or an oppressor. Also, even if you're left-wing or right-wing, that doesn't mean that you should buy into the entire package of left-wing or right-wing ideas without thinking. Try to think for yourself. Neither the left nor the right is completely correct and fair, and without flaws, which is why there's such a fierce political war in the first place. In fact, adopting the position that your side is completely right, and becoming a political crusader with that mindset, could be seen as a comfort belief in itself. After all, that too is a somewhat out of alignment position that is nevertheless egoically pleasing. And it gets you appreciation from other political crusaders in your camp. And finally, it's good to do your own inner work so that you don't feel the need as much to adopt beliefs just because they are psychologically pleasing. Although most people receiving this message are already doing significantly more inner work than the average person on Earth is. So, great job. I very much respect that you are continuing to develop yourself and do your inner work even though Earth is so very challenging right now. You're doing great. I love you, and I wish you a very good week. Yo, Roostar Brother, Hakann. SorceryOffLight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light, click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.